Okay. Wouldn't surprise me if I was incredibly rusty at all this. I mean, I am. I just am, basically. I wonder if anyone still exists. Oh, goodness me, they do. Hello. Hello, everyone. Gosh. It's been a chunky while, hasn't it? Been a crikey length of time. And, you know, as if symbolically towards that, I I don't know how to work any of the small amount of things that I used to be able to work. So overall, I really don't know what I'm doing, like to a strong degree. So I'm just going to have to slowly piece back my knowledge. The first way that I think I'm going to try and do that are by... Oh! It's Mate! Oh, how fantastic. Well, let's do that, because I was going to try and get some music to work, but Mate is basically far more music than we could ever ask for. So let's just... I don't know where the computer speakers actually are, but let's assume they're there, because I haven't really positioned my computer at all well yet. Let's put them there. And we're gonna break out Mate, because it makes sense, right? Wouldn't you think? Like, it probably makes sense. So we'll do that. I also know nothing of what's happened in Discord recently. So let's see if we can get old Mate up. And then we'll get everything started and we'll do our introductions and our hellos. Right, let's see if this works then. That one. Oh, noises.
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate.
It's been a while, mate.
It's been a heckin' while, hasn't it, mate? I mean, crikey. I've spent my whole second term at university owing to the lack of ease and cost. The lack of ease and huge cost of public transport. So I haven't been able to be back in any of that time. And so here I am. Hello.
So is your term finished, mate?
I will talk about that in a sec. I mean, the short answer is yes. But first of all, a donation. Incredible. Hello to, this is going to be quite difficult to say, SfZk. We'll go SfZk and then pixie dust. I can say the last bit. Thank you very much for your $1.99, which I'm very grateful. Thank you. Howdy, howdy. Hello, DJ. Hello, everyone. So yes, mate, my term ended very recently, and now I am back here. What about you?
We supposedly have 3 more weeks.
Crikey, mate.
I don't know if that's going to change, but yeah.
Wow. That is a chunky while, mate. So, how are your terms structured then? Do you have a shorter summer term?
Oh yeah, we just have 2 semesters.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, crikey.
That, yeah.
So you finish like really early then?
Yeah, and then there's 3 more weeks of lectures, and then a couple of weeks off for Easter, and then there's 2 more weeks of lectures actually, and then I think it's exams.
Oh, I see. Right.
So I've got 5 more weeks of lectures in total.
Uh-huh. Okay. How is your maths going then, mate?
It's going okay, I would say, mate.
That's good.
I was pretty happy with my results from last semester.
Excellent. That is good news.
How are you doing, mate?
Well, mate, crikey. Well, there's a mix of different things. I'm just sort of a bit sort of getting back into the groove, I guess, because my groove has been very different for quite a while. The coronavirus has brought Reddit back to us. Yes, crikey, we've got coronavirus since we... well, no, I haven't got coronavirus since... I mean, the discourse, the discussions within society has received coronavirus since we last spoke. But no, that's not why I'm back here. It's because my term ended normally. But hey, I could have an extended holiday depending on what happens with coronavirus. So you never know, I guess.
Yeah.
Looks like none of us are coming over to your American land, and none of you are coming over to our Britland. Of what we've heard recently. But I guess we can talk through this way. But no, I'm not in self-isolation, though that is how I prefer to live my life anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, luckily, personally, I am lucky to not be showing any symptoms. You all right, mate?
Yeah, I think I'm alright. I mean, the back of my throat feels a little bit tingly.
Oh.
But I'm sure I'm just... I might just be being paranoid there, mate.
Well, I hope you'll be all right, mate. I really do. So, mate, you're... unless you like playing... Are you playing a game or anything at the moment, mate?
No, mate.
All right. Would you be all right to have a route through the chat while we've been speaking to see if there are any questions that I've missed, please?
Okay, mate. Someone said, how old is Raggett?
Quite old. Very old. Too old. Ages. You shouldn't give your age over the internet, so I've just given my plethora of pretend answers, basically.
Yeah. Someone also said, mate, how are you doing? With a fist bump emoji.
Fist bump emoji back to you. I'd rather speak in emojis than write them. I feel like that's just less demeaning. I don't like emojis very much. I like emoticons. I don't know how you feel about that, mate, but I don't know.
Emoticons.
Yeah, you know when it's not like a draw animated thing. It's just literally the keys as they come from the keyboard.
Oh yeah, I like that, mate. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like when it gets auto-corrected to the emoji. I'm like, no.
Yeah, well, no, absolutely. That's the way that I say it, except possibly less sort of deep and stereotypically masculine. I'm sort of like, no! Oh, exciting, mate. Can I introduce a bit of my course here?
Okay, mate.
So, it's actually technically bad that I've immediately been so unprofessional, but when I shouted no, my audio clipped. Now, you're familiar with clipping, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, I think so, mate.
But do you know what clipping actually is?
I mean, are you talking about when you're like too loud and then it...
Yes, distorts.
Yeah, because I don't know, it's too loud for it to pick up or something.
Well, yes, now I actually know what clipping is. So I'm glad I can actually introduce some relevance from my course, at which I feel I am quite bad. But anyway, so clipping is when the input voltage into a microphone, the input voltage otherwise being known as how loud you speak, because the louder you speak, the higher the voltage that goes into the microphone. If that's higher than the highest voltage the microphone accepts, known as the maximum quantization level, because we love complicated words.
Yeah.
What happens is the peak of your audio, because as you probably well know, mate, when we speak and make sounds, it makes waves that go up and down, like your mathsy sine waves.
Yeah.
But what will happen if you speak too loudly? When it clips, the wave goes up, hits the very top of where the voltage will accept, and flatlines across that top line, and then goes down again. And that is why it sounds distorted and awful, because you don't have the normal, soft, sort of smooth audio peak that you usually would. It goes blah, and then back down again. So that is clipping, and I actually physically know what clipping is now, which I thought was relatively exciting. So there you go. Hurrah. I don't know if anyone else is excited. I feel like we've been losing people as I've said that. But now you have some reference point of usefulness of my degree, which, again, I have many different insecurities about me being quite bad at. But there we go, you know.
Mate, someone just said in chat, British people love complicated words because they want to prove they speak English the best, I think. That's an interesting take.
It's an interesting take. I mean, I guess my take that's closest to that is my take on academic essays. Now, I've had to read quite a few articles as my set reading. I say quite a few. It's probably not quite a few compared to a lot of people at university, but anyway. I often find people using these very big words. DJ in the chat will appreciate that Big Words is an Odd Chap song. I just thought I'd make reference to that because we like Odd Chap. Anyway, complete side point. People use these big words that help your understanding of it. Well, they just don't. They don't help at all. They help to no extent. They take back your understanding of it because you've got no idea what they're talking about. And they have no reason to be using words like this. So I've sort of waged my own tiny little campaign against that, and whenever I'm writing my essays I make sure to write it in a way that anyone could understand. That's my ultimate aim. And yeah, I can't really make any comment on British people wanting to do that especially, but maybe, maybe. I don't like using complicated words.
No, me neither.
But yeah, maybe some other people don't. So, mate, are there any other questions these days?
Questions? Oh, I don't know, you're putting me on that spot here, mate.
Was this pre-recorded? Yes, I anticipated your question and have answered it. I hope I've got the wording right.
Yeah.
This is top audio production here.
Yes, mate.
Regit, why are you stinky? Brilliant. My hair's a bit greasy, which is unfortunate. I have washed it, so I don't know why it's greasy. It's kind of annoying me. But I'll just give it another clean, I guess. Oh! Can we have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening? You can for $5. I'll even do it in the voice, because I need to get back into the groove of it. Actually, I don't, but I will say it for you anyway. Thank you very much for your $5. This is basic. This has turned into Fiverr, mate. I've literally been paid 5 units of a currency to provide a service for someone. So, I'm branching out. Okay.
That's good, mate.
Right, get my tea. I have a thing to talk about my tea. It won't be very interesting, but I could... here's a point of conversation if we run out of other ones. Right, okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. There you go. That's all you get.
You don't say it's Regit, though.
No, mate, it's $20 for the next bit. No, I mean, it's not, but... Right. When can we expect the next beginner's guide episode to be? Now, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go for a strong don't go expecting. I will look into the next one, which is what is it? Mammals ? The crazed lizard one.
I have no idea, mate.
That's the next guide, but I can't do it, and I didn't actually mean it about $20. I'm not trying to exploit the chat that much, but also, if you want to give that much and it won't bankrupt you, that's also very nice of you. Anyway, paid DLC for the full intro. Well, exactly. I'm coming back as I mean to go on. I'm setting up a what's like a scummy version of a Patreon. I'm setting up a tax. Yeah, it's yeah. Right. So, oh dear, that's very unprofessional, mate. What was I just talking about? I've forgotten.
Oh, I have no idea, mate.
Right, I'm gonna go up the chat, see if I can remember. Oh, I have remembered, and there's been a donation.
Beginner's guide.
Yes, thank you, mate. 99 cents from Brightplays. Thank you very much for your 99 cents, big tar. So yes, that's what it was, the crazed lizard. So I was sort of struggling like that. Wait, those aren't words. I was struggling with that level. There we go. and so I don't know if I'd be able to get anything out about it. And the beginner's guide has sort of reached a nice point at the end of a series, but maybe it would be more likely to expect some more beginner stuff in the summer. This is the Easter holiday. I'll be going back to university again, and then will be the summer holiday before the second year, where it just gets more difficult than it already very much is. So that's a fun one. I do have many insecurities about the course that I would talk about, but I don't want to be too specific, lest I accidentally give a specific that narrows me down too far as to where I am. Obviously, me not telling people where I am is just a simple security thing, you know. So, you are in a mood to talk about deep questions. What do you think about the coronavirus? Oh, right, mate. What do you think about the coronavirus? I'm going to pass this question off to you.
Reverse. Okay. Well, to be honest, mate, I don't want to take unnecessary risks, so I don't think I'm going to be going to lectures next week.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I'm still torn as to whether to go to things like orchestra rehearsal and concert band rehearsal and...
Of course, yeah. That is
top and stuff. So, I don't know. I'll see what I feel like. But yeah, it is a bit concerning.
Yeah. You see, the thing is, right, my point of view on it, I feel like I must be out of touch, right? Because I can't help but not be that concerned.
Okay.
The thing is that it's, for people our age anyway, it was not going to kill us off. And actually, more widely, apparently the flu kills people off, just as coronavirus has been doing the same. And apparently, flu actually is a coronavirus. That's why they call it the new coronavirus, because coronavirus is actually just a general term. And I think that, you know, if it's going to expand so widely in the UK, I'm probably just I have a decent chance of getting it at some point anyway. So I've just sort of accepted that. And so I'm just like, all right, fair enough. You know, that's my point of view on it. And I feel like my point of view is that people should be able to decide for themselves, like you are able to at the moment, mate, whether they go to gatherings or choirs or music things and rehearsals, rather than being banned from going to them. And otherwise, I feel like the problem is that if you overprotect for it, people will be safe but not enjoying themselves while being safe, and then it becomes, what's the point, really? I mean, that depends how much you value life over enjoyment within life, but you've got to think about the trade-off between them, perhaps. You won't get coronavirus if you have no contact with other people. Well, yes, it's a good point. It is a good point, yes. Especially now that it's the holiday, I will be, like, in the same room as about a total of maybe my parents, but that's about it. So you're probably bang on there. Is Reggit 28 or 15? I like that. No, sorry, I cut you off there, mate. What were you going to say?
What was it? No, I can't remember. You can go on, mate.
All right. Well, Sunfish Jones says 3 people in my school have died from coronavirus, for which I say I'm sorry to hear that. And I don't want to sound flippant about the disease. It's just my personal point of view on it is not as worried as some other people are. That doesn't mean that it becomes not serious, because your point of view on something doesn't change what it is. So it is what it is. And people just...
I think my 2 concerns are that I just rather not get sick than get sick. And also, I don't want to get it and then infect other people.
Yeah.
And then that's my fault that they have it.
Exactly.
And I feel bad.
Indeed, yeah. Yeah. No problem for an introvert like me, being alone. and gamers and introverts are superior in one way or another, yeah, maybe this will just eliminate everyone except for the gamers and the introverted people.
Yeah.
And then
mate, I saw something. I saw a funny meme, mate.
Yeah.
Where it said, let's see if I can find it. It said 2019. Esports isn't a real sport. 2020, esports is the only sport.
Oh, and again, I'd like to preface this laughter with my assumed apologies if you feel we're not taking it seriously enough. Just assume the apologies because they are there. But yeah, maybe it will just kill off everyone but the introverts, and then the introverts will become the master race, but only for a little bit. But because we're introverts, nobody will approach anyone else to talk to them and eventually reproduce, and so everyone will die anyway. Yeah, that is the bleak outlook for the world there, unfortunately. But, for a short time, yes, esports will be the only sport. I guess, yeah. Introverts get superior treasures. Well, introverts clearly know what they're doing then, don't they? That's, yeah. Right. Okay. Have we got any other points of conversation, or am I going to have to fall back on what they call the pocket subject, or back of the pocket subject? No, back pocket subject. Pockets aren't big enough to have a back of them, are they? Anyway, my tea. Anyone got something to talk about?
I don't know.
Mola's getting a true font. Well, that sounds rather good. It's weird hearing about Battle Cats because, of having not played it for quite a number of weeks.
Oh yeah, mate, I have a suggestion for you.
Yeah.
If you're going to be boycotting YouTube because of copper,
yeah,
what you should do in the meantime is you should be streaming on Twitch, mate.
Well, do you remember the thing about Twitch, though, mate? Do you remember that they didn't actually,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is that this part of YouTube, mate, isn't affected by copper. Only the stream archive is, and I don't monetize them. So I think this leads on to an important point that you have to individualize things and look at stuff within stuff and support what still works for you and oppose what doesn't work for you instead of just blanket opposing or supporting something. It's important to look for the nuance within things, right? I mean, it is certainly a problem that YouTube takes all that cash money from Super Chat in a sort of, which seems very unjust way, but Twitch won't let me make any cash money at all. So I guess we just go with the slightly less bad of those two. Yeah. Right. Do you fear coronavirus? Not myself, personally. Doesn't mean it won't be scary for other people. And if you're one of the people it has a chance of realistically killing off, I really wouldn't blame you for being quite worried about it.
The thing is, mate, it still can be, even though it's unlikely, it still can be quite bad for us.
Yes, it can indeed, yeah. Will you be playing any games this stream or in the near future? You see, well, here's the thing, right? I was going to break out some Battle Cats today, but on my iPad, a notification came up for like an Apple ID thing, and I had Do Not Disturb on at that point, and I thought, oh, this is a bit dangerous. Like, if I've got Do Not Disturb on and personal information is coming up on the screen, I don't want to risk that appearing on a stream. Where obviously, it's a live program, and so I cannot get rid of such. So I'm just sort of easing myself back into this old streaming culture and making sure I get it right and don't do this is Regget's personal inquiry code, as it were, as soon as I start again. So I thought we'd just talk for now, if that's all right. Is there going to be streams soon? Well, it's interesting you asked that, mate. What is a platform that I post on now and again, which you may find that out within?
That would be Twitter, mate.
That is correct, mate. Actually, yes. I made some form of allusion to that on me old Twitter, because we like Twitter. Good stuff. I mean, we don't. It's actually technically an awful place, but if you choose carefully who you follow, and fair enough, that could include unfollowing me. It can be a nice place to be. I personally follow 60 people, of whom only about 10 to 15 regularly tweet anything. And so I will always read through all the tweets in my timeline, rather than just like spam following people and having a sort of meaningless timeline. I just got a sort of flow of information that I'm actually interested in. That's the way that I personally do it.
Personally, I only really look at Twitter when I'm bored.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah.
And then I just see random tweets from people who I just happen to follow. There they go.
Sort of tweet potluck.
Yeah, exactly, mate.
Killer Queens asks, have you stopped with the German? 9. Though I haven't been doing as much of it as I would have liked to be doing. Just that doesn't mean that I've stopped. Just sort of, I need to get back into the groove of it, most definitely. So, as the silence envelops us. Regit, did you watch any anime lately? 9. I have not been. Speaking of 9s, I am a toaster with a donation with a 1, a dot, and 2 9s within it. I don't know what to say here. Well, I do. Thank you very much. That's what I say. Hurrah. Thank you for your donation. Anyone got a sort of wider topic of conversation so that we can sort of springboard off it and start talking? And then we won't... Well, I say we. It's entirely me, sort of just stopping and not having any interesting content. Well, I mean, that hasn't really changed, has it? So, do you have any merch? I do not, no. That is quite an easy question to answer, but is it a question I can realistically spin out? No. No. No, it's not. Oh, well, I don't. There we go. Why is the screen so depressing? Because I can actually answer that. It is the black bars that you'll sometimes see around the outside of Battle Cats or whatever, because on the iPad it doesn't have quite the right aspect ratio to fill the whole screen. And that bit is just a middle bit so that it forms one image, and it looks kind of weird and eerie because it has a black and white filter over it. And so the colours of that bar originally are not black. I mean, I feel like colour grading would be a bit of a professional term to use for what on earth I've done there. But I've changed the colours to make it, a bit smoky. So that's why it looks a bit eerie and sad. Shadow Gao here with $2 Canadian. Senpai, they say. Thank you ever so much. Chan. Is that right?
What?
I don't know. What does the senpai address their follower as?
I don't know.
No.
I mean, because I'm not a weeb.
Maybe Shadow Gao Kun, like Shinji Kun. I'm not sure though. Anyway, that was my best attempt. Draw a smiley face on the screen. It's a good idea, isn't it? I should probably do something with the screen. Feel free.
Less depressing.
Yeah, feel free to minimise the screen and get on with something else and use this as a sort of background
Podcast.
medium.
We're doing a podcast, mate.
It's exactly a podcast. I love the podcasts. We love a few of them. Nice to listen to while you're doing some other things like making food, which I do because I like food, and other such things. Oh goodness me, American politics. Yes. What is going on with that then? We've had Super Tuesday, haven't we? Super Tuesday is where you have lots of primaries at the same time. So Super Tuesday basically goes a long way to deciding who, in this case, the Democratic candidate. Actually, Super Tuesday is just the Democrats. Who it will be, and I don't know who it will be. So that's the extent of my American politics for you there. So that's it. Excellent. Okay. Feel like I might have to fall back on my tea talk in a minute.
Tea talk.
Do you like chickens, but not as food? Indifferent, I'd say, personally. I wouldn't have a chicken as a pet.
Yeah.
I think personally that'd be a dog.
When I was in primary school, I seem to remember my best friend had, like, chickens.
All right.
I think.
Fair enough, yeah. Versatile.
Just triggered a memory.
Yeah, well, there we go. Well, it's good to remember, you know.
It is, yeah.
Do you like green tea? Now, I'm not sure I've actually had green tea in quite a long time. I know, however, that another tea that is not one you put milk in that I do have a form of positive reception to is chamomile. That can be nice. But other than that, I'm not entirely sure. You notice that you've reached 60k subs, right? Yes, I apologise to everyone that there won't be anything special for that, but I am all the same very grateful for that McMilestone. And yeah, as I've said, I've sort of really been out of it for quite a chunky while. Because, well, exactly, why was your last vid a month ago? Because I've been at university, like writing, well, mainly recently writing essays and that. To be honest, that's what's been going on, and there's probably would have been chances to get a little bit of dokey content out there. Sort of my fault that there isn't quite as much, but I mean, if we think about the plus side of that, the most recent Doki thumbnail has Natsuki on it several times, and I know how much some of you like that, so I guess there's that. Right. What's your favourite essay you've written? Now, I won't go into specifics because obviously giving the essay title would sort of, again, narrow it down. But my favourite essay that I've written is not one for the course, and is just sort of one that I thought about and am sort of fleshing out my case and idea for it. And to make a reference to the old Twitter again, because we love to do that, I said on the Twitter that I'd be, over the course of this holiday, as well as streaming, hello, would be making a couple of sort of talky essay videos. As it happens, actually, there was a brief talk about that on the course. And they basically said the essay videos on YouTube are unreliable and you're not allowed to cite them because they're useless. I'm like, this sneery academia coming in again. But I mean, the fair point within that is that what I'll be making will not be balanced. It will be advancing my own personal point of view. But they'll be on a few different things. Some varied things. now over to Mate. And Mate is going to tell us... What's he going to tell us? He's going to tell us what is most interesting bit of maths he'd say he's learnt this term.
You see, mate, I've come prepared for this question this time.
Brilliant.
Yeah, well, maybe not the most interesting, but something that's at least a little bit interesting, and maybe I can try to explain. We started learning a bit about cryptography, mate.
Oh. What's that, mate?
That's where you encrypt messages and you send the message, and then you decrypt the message.
I see, right.
So, yeah. So, basically, mate,
yeah.
if you think, so if you want to send a message to another person, but you think that there's someone else who'll be able to like read whatever you send between each other, then obviously if you send the message, then they're gonna see it. But
yeah.
So if you
I mean, I'm familiar with encryption, mate. I just didn't know that's what cryptography referred to.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I was going to explain in some more depth, mate.
Well, that's fine, mate.
If I can, at least. So, you got the... Let me think about this. If each of the two people who are sending messages to each other have, like, a key that they use to encrypt or decrypt the message, then what you can do, because basically you might not want to have the two people using the same keys, because then, like, how do you make sure that you both know the key? You kind of have to send it, which means that someone can, like, intercept the key and, like, they know the key and they can decrypt whatever you're sending.
Yeah.
So instead, you each have a separate key, and what you do is when you send the message, you encrypt it with your key, and then the person you're sending to, sends it back, encrypting with their key, and then you take your key off thing, you decrypt with your key, and then they can decrypt with their key, and then they get the message. Woohoo! So it's kind of like, yeah.
Your key is able to decrypt their key?
No, your own key. So if you like apply your key twice, then it... Or, no, actually, you got like two keys. One is... Sorry, you got your like encryption key, and you got your decryption key.
Right.
I think a good way to think of it, mate, is like you've got two locks, right? Each person has a lock and a key for the lock. And so you put your lock on, and you got like a box, maybe, and you put your lock on, and they put their lock on. And then they send it back to you, and you can take your lock off, and then they still have their lock on, so that no one can open the box. And then they have their key, which can open their lock. And, yeah.
I'm really sorry, mate, but I don't understand any of that.
Oh, sorry, mate.
No, that's fine. Because I was probably unlikely to understand it, and there's a lot that I don't understand. So, thank you for. I mean, it's what then is the maths element to that? Then is that like how the encryption's made, or?
Yeah, because you'd like take numbers to the power of other numbers and stuff, or at least that's one of doing it, I think. So yeah, basically each message is represented by a number, and then you take the number to the power of another number, and then and you do some stuff basically.
Right. Fair enough, yeah. I'm, yeah. Someone thinks you're talking about lockpicking, mate.
Yeah, that's more of a metaphor when I was talking about the looks. But I think it is a good way to understand it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So, what was the thing? I feel like I should know what it was because I've just seen it. For anyone who's confused, I should probably contextualise this. So, mate is very clever, and I didn't understand what he was saying either. So, we're all sort of we're all within the same camp there, which is fine. It's fine, you know. Next, I would like to explain to everyone why this screen has actually been up. If you've been looking into it, well, congratulations. You've been looking into the space-time continuum, and you have gained infinite knowledge. And that is why I've put it up there, to give you infinite knowledge. I didn't want to introduce it to you earlier in the stream. I wanted the stragglers to leave before I gave you all infinite knowledge. And that really is the definition of stalling for time. I just looked at it briefly and I thought, oh, that's shiny. What if it's like the space-time continuum? Do you drink tea like everyone thinks we do? Yes. I'll say my thing about my tea now, because I might as well. So, what I'm doing with my tea and my coffee and all of that while I'm back home is making sure not to have anything with caffeine in it. And the purpose of that is to reset my caffeine tolerance, which I think has been up the pole for a long time and is actually quite troublesome and worrying. So my aim is to respond normally to caffeine. And so my tea is, for the first time in a while, and I think I will continue this way because I didn't realise tea actually had a meaningful amount of caffeine in it before, decaf tea. And then hopefully I'll be at a point where I respond to caffeine normally, and when I actually need to be woken up, I could have something with caffeine in it and it would have the effect it needs to, instead of being a deeply unhealthy boy. Though my body now just has other problems, like being disgustingly greasy. Like, I'm sorry to give you that analogy. Not an analogy, it's the truth. But, oh God, it's horrible. I'm like, mate, would you know what I mean if I said sort of rubbing your forehead in frustration? Like moving your fingers up and down your forehead, like, oh, why? Like scratching, but without the nails.
No, I don't know.
No?
I don't think.
Just me? Okay.
Yeah, did you, mate?
Anyway, just grease, basically. It's like there's just grease everywhere. It's disgusting. And, you know, I've washed so extensively, so it's just a bit concerning, basically. Reggie, which of your videos do you love and hate the most? Fantastic question, and I'll tell you why that's a fantastic question. Not necessarily because you've educated yourself in the best ways of asking a question, but because it leads on to something that I will be planning to do streams about in the near future. So, they say in the course, you know, get yourself together a show reel, and I can't really, I don't really have any kind of meaningful show reel at all. But I thought, what if I make one for YouTube of all the stuff that I think I've done best at making, and, you know, sort of go onto my video manager, download those videos and just edit bits of them together or whatever. But mostly the point is about getting them from the video manager. And then also what I'd like to do at the same time is just get rid of pointless videos or videos that I don't want people to see. And the reason for that is I recently watched, I guess you could call it a documentary, just about, on BBC Three. I thought it was actually quite badly made. It looked very amateurish. I mean, better than anything I could make, but it didn't watch particularly well. But the subject matter was interesting. And it was saying about how stuff like Google and that at the moment, even though they're pledging to eventually be carbon neutral with the energy and everything like that, they still buy off energy from very polluting sources. So technically, like, the more videos you're watching or having up on a platform, the more you're contributing to harmful pollutants, as it is at the moment. So I thought, well, I like streamlining and efficientizing, as I like to say, though it's probably not a word, things. So I am going to go forth in a form of stream and get off some of my favourite videos with the help of what you guys think is my best stuff, and then just delete entirely the stuff that really just doesn't need to be there, like optimizing. Yeah, that's a good word for it, but I just like to get across the idea that I'm making things more efficient. And I mean, efficientizing has no reason not to be a word other than the fact that it sounds rubbish, but lots of words sound rubbish, and don't follow.
Give an example, mate.
Well, I was watching earlier tonight Hunted from Channel 4. Have you heard of Hunted, mate?
No, I don't think so.
It's a great concept for a program, I think. It's basically like a massive game of hide and seek, where people go on the run, and then people driving imposing-looking black Volvos and with drones and helicopters and cool-tapping technology try and run after them and find them before they go off on an extraction point and win. And anyway, it's great fun. But during the episode, they're talking about a place. I hadn't actually... so the place is called... what was it? It would have been Flukeborough, I think. Flukeborough. And a person who was reading it out sort of didn't understand the weird English place names thing, and so they were just like, Flukeburg. They're in Flukeburg. And I thought, well, they're absolutely right, really. It's written Flukeburg, but we don't say it in that way, like Edinburgh and such things as that. So, yeah, it's just things like that, It's like silly words. So efficientizing, at least that sounds how it is spelt. So I'll go for it, So to all my...
You're like Shakespeare, mate, making up your own words.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm all for that. Because I launch into this finally I get a springboard question, and I'm all like very thankful. And so in response I get, so are you actually going to answer the question? Brilliant. Brilliant. All right, okay, fair enough. No, I'm not. The reason for that is because I'm not sure. When I think of a video that I quite like of my own, one that comes to mind is Octopus Cat in a Nutshell. I quite like that one. And yeah, okay, let's say it's that one. And let's say that my least favourite, as in why did I make this, is probably Jake Paul's It's Everyday Bro in Battle Cats.
Wow.
Oh dear.
I'd forgotten about
Even just the idea of that video. Oh, it's good fun, to be fair. It's good fun.
I like the thumbnail. I've just found it now. You've got the same thumbnail as It's Everyday Bro, but there's like an angry-looking cat on Jake Paul's head.
Oh, that's Rich Cat. Yeah.
And it says, "It's cats, bro."
It's cats, bro.
Yeah.
That is good fun. That is sincerely good fun.
Mate, you just laugh like Stampy.
Yeah, I know. I've realised I go through loads of different laughs through no deliberate choice.
I don't think I've heard that laugh of yours before, mate.
I think it's a recent development, this laugh, mate. I don't know why I just suddenly get like new laughs. So this is my new one, and yeah, it does sound a bit like Stampy, doesn't it? So I go bye. Yeah, I love Stampy. Stampy's great, to be fair. What is your favourite YouTuber? Me favourite YouTuber. At the moment, I'm very much enjoying the content by a chappie known as Atomic Shrimp. And he makes all sorts of different things. Probably best known for his scam baiting stuff. But he also does interesting food buying and cooking that I've got some nice recipe ideas from. And he forages and goes out in nature and tells you about different types of mushrooms, which is genuinely interesting. And he doesn't do clickbait at any single point. And he's very articulate and also quite funny. So just generally very enjoyable. That would be my personal recommendation. What about you, mate?
I had a feeling you were gonna ask me this question, mate.
Oh.
I mean, to be honest, I really can't answer it because there's a lot of YouTubers that I watch.
All right.
I don't know. I think my favourite YouTuber at the moment is probably Jack's Films, I think, still.
All right.
He's been going at it for a long time, mate, and I think he still makes good videos.
Yeah. Well, that's good news. Yeah. I fall into an awkward silence, which must be incredibly boring on the receiving end of the stream. And then I see the honest message. How could someone dislike this? And I think, well, there you go. There's your answer. I'm just basically quite bad at streaming or podcasting or whatever you'd call this brand of content. You know, part of the course also is talking about the blurring of lines between the different aesthetics, i.e. how something looks, of different media. And as this is a blurring of the lines between stream and podcast, which is like the worst possible bits of both, I also blur the lines between... What do I blur the lines between, mate? I would say like competence and incompetence. But I feel like I'm just closer to incompetent, really. So, I don't know. Maybe there are some lines that I blur. Who knows? Maybe. Maybe the lines between greasy and very greasy at this point. Because I don't know what's going on with my face, but it is actually quite horrible. I reckon if I looked in a mirror, I'd probably be shiny at this point. And I apologise for describing myself in just, such a disgusting way. But if it makes any of you have a dimmer view of what my face will look like, at least you'll be less disappointed if I ever get to 100,000 subscribers. So I guess there's that. Sorry, mate?
I looked on Social Blader, and it said you're going to hit 100,000 subscribers on the 2nd of January 2022.
Ah.
So let's make that a goal to hit 100k before 2022.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I don't really want to get that far, because I don't want to do a face reveal. I just promised to do one, so... we'll get there if we get there,
Actually, it was pretty genius, mate.
Yeah.
Because how many subscribers did you have when you made that promise? Like, like 20,000 or something.
Oh no, I think it was quite a lot less than that, mate.
Yeah, so in that case, like, barely any of them will actually remember that you made that promise, and so they. And when, like, the ones who were subscribed to you are saying, "You said you would do a face," you'll just say, "What? I never said that," and just delete the video, mate.
I feel like that would be lying, mate. I'm not quite sure about. We sound like people who are savages. I read that first of all as we sound like people who like sausages.
Well, both of those are true, mate.
I do occasionally like a sausage, to be fair. The sausage is one of the few vegan things I'm quite impressed by. I don't mind a vegan sausage. Quite like that, actually. Have you had any meat alternative sausages, mate?
No, mate, I don't really see much point in, like, eating specifically vegetarian or vegan meat when I can just eat normal meat.
Do you want me to list off the benefits, mate?
If you want, mate.
So principally, there's the environmental benefit. You need less space to, make meat substitute out of protein. And so you can, like, replant trees and all of that, and have the advantage of fewer cows giving off fewer cow-like emissions. Like, if there are fewer versions of me, there'd be less grease. I still relate back to that because I don't know what's going on at the moment, and it's just quite horrible. Then there is the that ties in with that, the food miles benefit. And then if you get the right kind of meat substitute, there's definitely a price benefit. So a lot cheaper for you and you're buying your own food. There's a safety benefit because, I know well, as a student now, you've always got to be wary of if you're accidentally poisoning yourself. And if it's meat substitute, you can't give yourself food poisoning off of it because it was never actually meat in the first place. It's good to heat it up, but you could try and bite on it.
That's interesting to know, mate.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's a lot safer. And then if you care for the poor old cows, there's the moral benefit as well.
Yeah.
I feel like my hair's getting greasy now. Yeah, I know. I'm actually a pro streamer. I've transmitted my greasiness down the cables, and everyone watching is now getting gradually greasier hair. And don't think you're going to get off if you're bald, because you won't. Your hair's just going to become incredibly shiny and greasy. Yeah, no, actually, yeah, you're right, mate. The hair will grow back, and then it will become greasy. You're
doing the Stampy love.
Yeah. It's good fun. We love Stampy, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, mate, you had a good tweet a while back, didn't you, mate?
Did I, mate? What was that?
It was... Hang on a second.
Joke's on you.
Your pins.
Right.
Your pins.
Oh, I see, yeah. Joke's on you, I just took a shower. I had a very thorough shower this morning, and I'm still greasy now, so don't think that will get you off the hook. You're just as you dry off, right, or maybe you are dried off now, you'll just feel the grease materialising, and it will just feel like your hair is just sort of melting grease all over your body, like wax from a candle, and suddenly you'll just sort of melt and slop onto the floor because you won't be able to sit on your chair anymore because there'll be so much grease. You'll just sort of slip off anything you try and sit on. Just so much disgusting grease. And I'm sorry for transmitting that to you all, but I didn't want to be the only one who felt greasy. But yeah. Who says I can't tell stories? Look at that. That's an interesting one. But who said it was a fictional story? You feeling greasy over there, mate?
Yeah, mate.
Oh no! But yes, yeah, no, that is pinned actually purely because it got lots of likes on it.
Yeah, and Stampy even responded.
I know, it's good, really, wasn't it?
That's pretty cool.
We like Stampy, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a tweet. Yeah, I found that I sort of think a bit more about what I'm tweeting now because some Twitter accounts have just put out loads of irrelevant rubbish.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would like to follow you if you didn't put out so much just pointless stuff. And so I now just say things when I have a cause to say things. Basically, that's my ultimate plan.
What did you just say, mate?
I say things when I have a cause to say things. Like when I think people would benefit from hearing that. You know what I mean?
Okay. For a second there, I thought you just said that you'd unfollowed me. Pointless stuff.
I don't think so, mate. I think I follow you because I don't think you tweet, do you?
No, I don't, mate.
No.
My last tweet was I linked Minecraft Part 1, How to Survive the First Night, and I said, me IRL.
Brilliant. Was that your video, mate?
No.
Ah.
That was the Yogscast video.
Mate, you really need to get back into YouTubing, to be honest.
I don't know, mate. I'm boycotting it like you, mate. XD.
Oh dear.
Oh, mate, I've just been looking through my tweets. I'm really proud of my amazing Muddy Puddle Cat tweet. Where I said,
yeah.
I think the Muddy Puddle Cat has already won the Your Battle Cat competition. Everyone else might as well give up now.
You did quite well, actually, didn't you?
I got 14 likes on that. Someone replied, that should go in a museum.
I'm fairly sure you got closer to the final than I did. Yeah. Hello, this is my first Reddit stream. I do apologise. This is it's not a great one. I'm just sort of, this is the first in a long time. It's basically like my own first Reddit stream. I'm just getting back into it, just not very well. And on that note, I reckon it might be sensible to stop now and rejoin you at another point in time when I can have the Battle Cats ready for you. And I don't mean another point in time today, just to be clear, but then that will leave us some more things to talk about if anyone thinks of things to talk about. And I guess we'll be leaving you here. I'll definitely be off, obviously, and I'm definitely going to have a shower again. But Trashki, hello. What should I do after that? That's the question. I reckon something along the lines of... Do you know what I was thinking of doing, mate?
What, mate?
Good luck, Grease Lord. Love that. Are you going to stream tomorrow? Ideally, yeah. I think I might actually go and rewatch one of the classics. I'm thinking.
Classics?
The classics, mate. Something from
You're talking about Latin, mate.
Oh no! As in something brilliant though. Something from my my DVD rack, mate. Yeah. Crack out one of those. See what fun can be had, basically. Oh, Battle Cats movie. We do love Trashki's Battle Cats movie, to be fair. It's great fun. But I guess that'll be it. Apologies for this slightly really bad stream. I'm just sort of getting back into it.
I thought it was a good stream, mate.
Well, I appreciate that, mate. You certainly did bring a bright spot onto it and gave us some good topics of conversation. So, in light of that, I think I'm gonna... What was that, mate?
That was a yawn, but combined with, I don't know, I make weird sounds when I yawn.
Oh, I don't mean to sound rude, mate. This is more from a comedic point of view. But you know those squeaky pigs?
Yeah, mate.
That's exactly what that sounded like.
Okay, mate.
That was brilliant, though. I don't mean that in... I don't know if you can mean that in a non-rude way, but if you can, that's how I mean it. Because that was quite incredible, mate.
Thanks, mate, I guess.
Don't know if it's the sort of thing you should congratulate someone on, but I think that was quite amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe you inherit those kind of noises from random places, like I inherit my laughs from random places.
No, I don't think so, mate, but maybe.
Oh. Maybe we could form a band.
Sure.
Find out next time if we've formed a band. And on that interesting note on which to leave you, probably not, I will be off. So, goodbye to mate.
And goodbye from me.
Yes, goodbye everyone.
We could do the pointless thing, mate.
And we'll finish off on, bro, where are your viewers? Well, yes.